Hi everyone, I'm Eggfur, and today I'm going to be showing you my updated farm. It's a villager crop farm, a micro farm. This will produce you 3,000 potatoes or 3,000 carrots per hour in a very small space. So the previous version I called out in that video that actually it broke in the beta. I raised a bug report. The bug was marked as works as intended. And therefore my previous version will stop working when we go to the next version of Minecraft. This is a fix for that, so if you have built the previous one, it's quite easy to convert it to this. If you haven't, then this is the one to go for, and it is a really amazing farm in terms of the rate of crops that it produces. All right.
Okay, so let's dive straight in.
On Bedrock.
Right then, peeps, I'm in the 1.16.251 beta, and we're going to build this farm. Actually, I've got a copy of it over there, which has some villages in. My advice is don't build this near any other villages, but this one's not too bad. I'll show you what we need to do about it when we get to that point. So I'm going to start off by laying down some chests, and we're going to build 2 slices of this farm. So I've got 3 double chests in each slice. We're going to put hoppers into the back, and I'm shift clicking those hoppers. You'll see that they are then pointing into the chest. Right, so the magic source of this, which gets around the change in the latest versions, is these things. These are activator rails. And I'm going to lay them down like that, and they join up for me. You might need to mess around them a bit if they don't join up for you. I don't need these ones. And I'm going to put some hopper minecarts down on here. So my previous version of this farm had hopper minecarts embedded inside some grass blocks, but I need to use the activator rails. What activator rails do is when they're powered, they lock the hopper minecarts. They can't pick items up. And why that's important is it means that the villagers then have time to pick up more items themselves, which they can replant, and only the spare stuff will get picked up by the hopper minecarts and put into the chests. So that is what keeps this farm working in the latest versions of the game. Okay, so we will then build this up here, and I'm going to put some grass blocks there above the minecarts. So because now the grass blocks are above the minecarts, not with the minecarts embedded in them, there is a tendency for items to kind of get thrown around a little bit between the 2 slices and potentially out of the slice as well. So we will have to put some ends onto this farm, and we're not able to have, say, a carrot farmer here and a potato farmer here, because they'll swap items and eventually they'll end up both being carrot farmers or both being potato farmers. So this is either carrots or potatoes on both slices. Okay, let's stick a dispenser down here, and these will be dispensing the bone meal onto the farmland. And I've used grass blocks, by the way. This can be dirt just as easily. We're going to turn it to farmland anyway in a moment. Let's go behind the dispensers and put a couple of blocks down. And I'm going to come under here, and I'm going to grab a piston, a normal piston, and some obsidian. And on this second block out, I'm going to place a downwards facing piston with obsidian underneath it. And that obsidian is an immovable block, so this can't go anywhere now. And I can get rid of these temporary blocks. So on here, I want a torch. So grab my torch. I put a torch on one of these and put redstone on the other. And then underneath, put torches on both. And you'll see they start flashing. The reason I don't have a torch here is because you can get out of sync. And I want them both to flash at the same time, and I'll show you why I want that. So I'm going to put my redstone back. So we're going to use this clock, which is powering the dispensers and shooting out the bone meal. We're also going to use it for locking these activator rails. I'm going to do that by taking these blocks out and putting redstone dust down here. And you can imagine if these were out of sync, one would be on whilst the other was off, and this one would be on whilst the other was off. That would mean there'd always be a torch lighting the redstone line, and it wouldn't flash. But as it is, we're getting our activator rails here, flashing away, locking and unlocking this minecart, which is exactly what we want. Okay, so let's move on, and I want a few more bits and bobs. So I'll grab some stairs. I'm going to grab that, grab my spawn egg, and we're going to build up here. Now this is going to become farmland, so I need to irrigate it to make sure that it stays well irrigated and doesn't dry out. So I'm using a stair block here, which I'm going to waterlog, and that will irrigate both these bits of farmland. I need an end on it to stop the water flowing out. So let's irrigate that, grab my water bucket and waterlog this. So over time, you'll see these go dark as they get properly irrigated. Okay, so we need to build up a little bit, and we're going to do that there. I'm going to put some hoppers on top of my dispensers, thank you. And this is where the bone meal is going to be fed in. So I'm going to start off by using a double chest. So the bone meal will be fed roughly evenly into both of these dispensers, both slices of farm. Then over here, I need to build up as well. So I'm going to use a solid block here. Glass up like this. A solid block on this side. And glass up like this. Glass here. And now it's time to put the villagers in. So I'm going to put one on this side, one on this side. They are good villagers, and we're going to put glass blocks over the top to make a little roof. Some temporary blocks. Break these ones. And now you want a sticky piston. And the sticky piston is going to be facing down towards the glass blocks we just placed. The same on both sides. Break those for now. And now if you grab a lever, some redstone again, we can pop a lever on one of these, redstone on the other, and we're going to push that down onto their heads. And they don't mind having glass on their heads, they can still breathe, it's all fine. I'm going to temporarily break this one, and I want to, actually no, I don't want to do that yet. Getting ahead of myself, right. Let's place some temporary blocks here, and we want to place some beds. So normally, if you're far away from any other villagers, you just need 2 beds, or maybe even 1 bed for these guys. Oops, a bed, thank you. But actually, these villagers don't have a bed at the moment, so they're probably linking to these. So I'm going to place down 4 beds, just to be really sure everyone's got a bed. And we should see these guys linking to those. Okay, and then I'm also going to place down composters, because I want them to become farmers. So I've placed down 4 composters. You could place down just 2 unless you've got more villagers around. And now I'm going to break this block, and I'm going to trade with this guy because I want him to stay a farmer forever. So by trading with him, that makes sure he will never change profession. I'm going to do the same over this side. You can do whichever trade you want. So if you've got, spare carrots, whatever, you can trade carrots. I'm just trading emeralds. And let's fill that in again. And now, because they're locked in as farmers, I don't need these anymore. And it's actually important you take them away, because if it's a thunderstorm and they have a composter, they will stop working. Because villagers are fundamentally lazy, need to be beaten into shape. So we do that by taking away their bed and their composter, and then all they have to do is just farm away for us. Okay, so I'm going to add a block here and a block there, just tidy up. I want to put a trapdoor down here. Where are my trapdoors? There they are. So you can put a trapdoor here. You could use a solid block, but it's quite nice to get access to your minecarts if you ever want to see what's going on in there. And I'm also going to build this up. It's not really necessary, but we shall build this up, keep everything nice and safe and in position. Let's also put a block there and a block there. And that is our farm done. So all we need to do is we need to get some carrots. And 1 stack carrots should be fine. Throw them in there and you'll see they're nodding away, picking up the carrots. They've already started planting some. And once all of those carrots have gone through, they have, then all I need now is bone meal. So I'll grab 4 stacks for the time being, throw that in. And 4 stacks of bone meal will get you 2 stacks of carrots, basically. That's the way it works. So twice as much bone meal as you need carrots or potatoes. And of course, you've got my bone meal farm. You should plug that into this and it will produce you, well, 1,500 per hour per tile. So this farm here will produce 3,000 carrots or 3,000 potatoes an hour. And these chaps will just carry on until they run out of bone meal. And we can, if, let me just do this for the sake of showing you. I've got a chest which has already got bone meal in it. So I place that down like this. And like that. And then these guys will have plenty of bone meal, just to keep going for a bit. So that's it. That's the farm done. Let's have a quick look around. No more complicated than that. So if you built my previous one, really simple change. Just drop your minecarts down a level, and you need to put in this circuit here with the activator rails underneath the minecarts to make sure that the villagers have time to pick up the crops. And next, I'm going to show you a little bonus. So actually, before we go on to the bonus, there's probably a little thing that we ought to do is give ourselves access. In creative, I'm flying around, so I don't really have any problem. But if you're in survival, it's good to have a way to get up here so that you can get to this switch if you need to. So that's the ladder. And also, these guys, if they get hit by lightning, they can turn into witches. So we need to try and avoid that. And the best way to do that is build a lightning shield up here. And actually, I don't know much about lightning shields, to be honest. So I'm going to build it this big, and I hope that's big enough. There we go. So that gives us the lightning shield. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks above villagers, which I know is high enough. I'm not sure exactly how far out it needs to come. So I'm just going to build it that big for the time being. The other thing I didn't mention, of course, is if you end up with a nitwit villager, you can't use them in this farm. And also try and make sure that you bring in villagers who do not have items in their inventory already, because if, for example, you bring in a beetroot farmer who's already got beetroot, then he'll grow beetroot. And we don't want that. We want him to grow carrots or potatoes. He'll probably eventually change, but it's better if you can find a villager to bring in who's either a fresh villager from your village breeder or is a villager who was not a farmer to start with, and then convert them to a farmer. And that, of course, means you can't have traded with them either. Right, let's go and have a look at that bonus. So the little bonus for this farm is that we have 2 villagers and they have an inventory full of crops. So they've got food, and 2 villagers plus food equals villagers who can breed. So actually we can turn this into a makeshift villager breeder. It's not a good villager breeder, right? I wouldn't use it as your main one, but if you just occasionally need the odd villager, then this can produce that for you. And the way we'd do that is at the moment with the glass on their heads, they will not breed. So we can actually fire this lever up here, bring the glass up, and it will allow them to breed because they've got food already. Now, the complicating factor is that the baby villager will get stuck inside here. We need a way of bringing him out, and the only way that he's ever really going to come out is at night time. So what we can do is we can build some beds down here like we had before. So I told you I've got 2 villagers over there, so I need 2 beds for them. I need 2 beds for my guys here, and I need a spare bed for the baby. And the baby will need a path to get to his bed or her bed. But we need that path to have a way of dropping them down as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put trapdoors here and here. In fact, actually probably one further along. So I put a trapdoor here, just there. And the baby villager will think he's got a path down here to get to his bed, but in actual fact, those are open. So hopefully he's just going to fall straight down, and you'll move him into, I don't know, a minecart or a water stream or whatever it is that you want to use to move him away from here. So let's give it a go. Pop the lever. The other thing you'll see is, did you notice the villagers just jumped up? And sometimes they jump, they can destroy the farmland, turn it back into dirt. If that happens, you can just break one of these glass and hoe the ground again. But if we wait a little bit now, what we should see is eventually they'll start to breed. And there they are. So any second now, we should see our baby villager appearing down in that little villager pod here. There he is. Okay, but like I say, we need to get him out. And the way I want to do that is I'm going to break this block here. And during the day, he won't do anything. But hopefully, if I set the time tonight, he did actually just come out. He doesn't always come out, but if you set the time to night, then he will try to get to his bed, and that will bring him out and cause him to drop down here into whatever collection system you've got for your baby villager. So let's take the time back today. I will be publishing a video with an actual proper villager breeder. Let's get rid of this guy. So like I say, this is a bit of a makeshift device for breeding the odd villager every now and again, and I would recommend it as a solution for for creating lots and lots of new villagers. Okay, let's get rid of these beds. And of course you can leave a platform in if you do want to do it every now and again. I'm going to get rid of it. So you have it. A little crop farm does 3,000 carrots or potatoes per hour. And I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, then have a think about subscribing to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. And have a look at my other bone meal farms as well. And also, if you haven't done so already, check out my big bone meal farm, which produces 7,800 per hour. All right. Thank you very much, guys. Bye-bye.